Hi guys, in this video I'll be showing you how to use Elementor Flexbox and how to create a beautiful layout using the Flexbox features. Many of you have asking me that Riyadh, why don't you create a tutorial related to the Elementor? But I think I should introduce with you the Flexbox feature because in our next tutorial, in our next project, I'll be using Flexbox widely, and so that you can understand exactly what I'm going to create in our project. And that's why I'm going to create this video for you guys, and you can follow this video. There are a couple of other designs that you can practice yourself, and I will share with you the Figma file so that you can complete them on your site, and also you can share your work in our Facebook group, and I will give feedback on your work as well. So basically it's a complete, not a project, it's just a couple of different sections, and I think almost more than 10 sections that I'm not going to cover everything inside this project, but I'll be going to show you 2 or 3 sections here so that you can understand exactly the Flexbox features. And there are a couple of limitations yet, it's not complete yet, and you have to consider while you're using Flexbox. It's not recommended to use your production site, but I highly recommend you to start learning Flexbox because it will introduce with a stable version very soon. So that's all from my end, and without further any delay, let's jump into my computer. If you haven't watched our previous video and subscribe the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It will help me to create more video, and also it will help me to, you know what I mean. Okay, so let's jump into my computer and start creating our design using Flexbox. So here you can see currently I'm inside my computer. Well, let's remove myself from here and start talking and start creating video. Okay, right. So here is my dashboard, and I have already installed Elementor. So if you are new to this Elementor, then first of all, you have to, after installing the Elementor, you have to navigate to the Elementor settings to enable the Flexbox features inside your Elementor, and then click Experiments, scroll down, and here you can see Flexbox Container. All you have to simply select Active and then click Save Changes. And now you're ready to use the Flexbox item inside your editor. So this is the configuration that you have to follow. And now let me show you the design. So here is the design that I'm going to use inside this video. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to use 1 or 2 design from here, and I will explain you exactly how to create and how to use them. And you can follow the same process, and you can easily create other design from here. Then you can share your design with us in our Facebook group so that I can give you a feedback regarding your work. And also, if you do not have live server, or if you don't know how to install WordPress on live server, then you can simply watch this video. This is a free hosting and temporary domain that you can install WordPress on your live server, and you can share your WordPress link to any of your colleagues or friends. Even you can share your link in our Facebook group to give or get a feedback from other experts. So that's all. Let's navigate to our Elementor editor first. So I'm going to create add new page, test page, click publish, and click edit with Elementor. And then for this video, for test purpose, I would like to use the canvas layout from here, which is Elementor canvas, because we are going to practicing the Elementor container, which is Flexbox features. So there is no need to use the header and footer, no need to display anything here. Now let's take a look at the elements area. Here you can see the container. So there is no column or nothing. In our previous Elementor, there was a column features, but it's now displaying container. Drag and drop it here. And let's understand how the Flexbox work first. So I'd like to add a minimum height. Go to style, add a background color. Let's say, for an example, light blue color. add another container, add a heading. So let's type here. Okay, so you can add any kind of text here. So for understanding, I'm going to add flex 1, change the color, and add a background color. So let me prepare them, because I'm going to show you how the Flexbox works. So if I do not prepare them here, you cannot understand. Let's change it to green color. Well, so there are, okay, now here you can see inside the container I have added another container. On the right side here is the navigator. You have to understand exactly how it works, so you have to understand how to navigate also. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this one couple of times and type here 2 and type here 3. It's very simple, right? So there are only 3 container under the parent container. So this is the parent container, and inside the parent container I have added another 3 container, and you can add as much as you want. There is no limitation. Now let's take a look at the Flexbox item, exactly how it works. So first of all, if I click on layout and select the parent container, as you can see, there is container content width and minimum height. So we have added the height here, which is the parent container. Let's add it 700 so that you can understand exactly how it works. And here you can see the items. This is the most important part, which is the items, and then direction, justify content, align items, and gap between, and wrap. So those are the main properties, and you have to add information or a value on it, and this is the properties that we are going to use while we creating any design for making our website perfectly in various layout. So inside the items here you can see the direction. Let's change the direction to row. As you can see, it's changing instantly to row, and when I select row it will display as a column. So I have added 3 container here, and now it's just displaying 3 container as a 3 column. If I duplicate any of them from here, it will continuously increasing the column. So let's delete this one, and now let's select container again, and here you can see when I select direction, you can change the column vertical as well. By default it always displays a vertical, and if you select row reversed, you can always reverse. So as you can see, flex 3, flex 2, and flex 1. So previously it was flex 1, flex 2, and flex 3. It just reversed the direction. So you can also reverse the column direction here. So you can also start from the bottom area. And the interesting part is, if you take a look at the justify content area, here you can see it's from start, center. I will share with you the justify content later on, but here is another thing, which is align items. So if I select stretch, by default it's stretch. If I select start, here you can see it's from start, center, and end, but it always display as a stretch by default. If you didn't select it, it still stretch mode. So if you just select the container, it always change under the child or inside the child. So this is the parent container, and those 3 are child container. It will not going to affect inside the child container. So this is just one step down. So it always change inside the child under the parent container basically, but it's not going to change anything inside the child container. So let me explain you exactly what I mean here. So as you can see, we can change direction easily. We can change the justify content. We can okay, so justify content is very important. I will share with you how it works, but in the meantime let me share with you how the align item works. So I have changed the align item here. Well, now let's delete one item from here, and inside the container let's change the width 500, and for this one, okay, I'm sorry, I just change it from here. Let's select this container and change the width 500, and select this one, change the width 500. So as you can see, there is a horizontal bar, right? And it's not going to work as expected. So in that case, we have to use the wrap. And if I select wrap, here you can see, okay, if I increase another, let's increase, and now as you can see, here is a horizontal bar, and this is not an expected behavior. So how you can prevent this behavior, right? So all you have to simply select the wrap, not here. Make sure if you select this container and add wrap, it will affect inside this container, but it will not going to affect all of the containers. So if you want to affect all the container, make sure you have selected the parent one and select wrap. So as you can see, when you select wrap, that means it works like a overflow. So it will not going to overflow the container area, it will wrap inside the container area, no matter how much margin you have added there. And it's very useful. Now let's navigate and let's delete the random item from here. I'm sorry, I just delete. Okay, let's delete it. And now what I'm going to share with you, a very interesting thing, which is, let's change it to percentage, okay, auto, and duplicate this one, change the direction here, which is, select the container first and then change the direction, this one. And now it's time to understand justify content. So if I select center, it will display all of the content inside the parent container at the center. If I select end, then it will display at the bottom of the container area. If I select space between, then as you can see, it's add some space between the flex item. It's very nice. And I will share with you the real case of those items here so that you can understand why it's important. So when I select space around, that means it added space at the top and bottom, and also the same space added at the top and bottom here. Now when you select space evenly, it's space evenly, that means it will distribute the space evenly, both of the item here. So if you increase the item, it will keep spacing evenly. It's very useful. Well, so we have we understand exactly how the Flexbox work inside our container. So let's say, for an example, you have added another container or another item inside your child container. Let's add here. And now I have selected the child container, and I would like to increase the height. So this is our child container. Now when I select child container, and if I want to apply here, make sure you do not select the parent container. You have to select this container, and now I'm going to apply flex item or flex properties inside these containers, and it will apply these three headings. So instead heading, you can use container as well. Let's click over here. So as you can see, it's working like a container box. So you can use container as well. And this is how it works. It's very easy to use, and you can do whatever you want here. So you can make it center, you can place them at the center, and previously it was very hard to make anything inside a container at the center. And there is no limitation at all. You can add as many as you want. So that's all for the Flex introduction. Let's jump into the design and let's start making any easy design from here. And then later on I will be showing you a complex design. So first of all, I would like to create this simple design. Okay, and hopefully if you understand this one, you can create or you can convert any other design from here, And also there are lots of other design out there. You can also convert them. So let's start making this one first. So now let's start making this one very quickly. I'm not going to take the other information from here. So you can, let's say for an example, you can use font, or you can use typography, font size. So I'm not going to use them as of now. I'm going to use directly the information so that you can understand exactly. The main goal is to share with you how the Flexbox work, not how to create a beautiful design. So let's add 43 pixel here. Testimonials and water client, so it is 18 pixel. Add 18 pixel, and then add here 43 pixel. Change the color to black color, and as you can see, if you take a look at the container, inside the container I have added 2 heading. That's very simple. And now I'm going to take another container for all the item, and inside that container for individual item I would like to add individual container. So let me show you. Let's drag another container and then add another container for individual item. So take another one, and now inside the container add star mark. So I can search here star rating, and then paragraph, after that inside this container take another container for image and name and the designation, which is the user. Well, so please take a look at here carefully. I have a parent container. Inside the parent container there is 2 heading, then there is child container. So this is child container, which is the parent is this one. So when I'm selecting this container, the parent container is this one and it's a child container. Now inside the container take another container. So don't get confused, because it's all about container. So now I have added another container, and now I'm going to add another container here. Well, it's very interesting, right? There is lots of container. Now take image here. So I duplicate the container, one of them from here, and export this image. Upload this one, insert media, left, and on the right side take heading John Doe, which is the name 18 pixel and the designation is 15. Let's add 18 pixel, change the color, and font should be 18 pixel and it should be 15. Let's duplicate this one. So you can understand, you can change the margin, padding, typography, everything later on, and as of now you have to focus on flex item, how the Flexbox work and how to create layout using Flexbox. So now first of all take a look at our design again and compare with our navigator here. There is a lot of container, don't get confused again. So I am going to change one by one. First select this container, and inside this container there is a man, which is a image and text, and let's take a look at here again. So there is only text here. I'm not going to change here, but if I select this one, there is image, and then these two container has their parent container, this one. So if I select the parent one, and change the direction. As you can see how it looks, and then here you can see justify content, which is start, and then change the width. So we are almost done with this section, right? There is little adjustment and padding that I'm going to remove from the container. By default it has some padding. Let's remove all the padding from here. So I've changed, remove padding, this one and this one. Select container, and it's working, right? Well, so you can select this container, and now there is another options that you can play around with, which is when I select layout, the gap between. So you can decrease the gap or increase the gap here. And when I select the container here, change the position center so that it display at the center. Now if I close this one, here you can see it's displaying center and it's displaying perfect. So there is a little adjustment, which is when I select the container, both of this parent container, here you can see gap between, so you can decrease the gap as well. So that's it, and this is how it works and how it's flexible and how it's beautiful. I really like this. Let's change the font weight to light, and now it's time to start converting the other container. So I can simply duplicate this one, select the parent container, which is this one, and then change the direction. And this is how it works. It's very useful, right? So there are little adjustments that you have to consider, and let me show you what we did here. So I just create this container and I just change everything, and using column there are lots of limitation, but it has lots of opportunity that you can play around with. But at the first time, when you just watch this video for the first time, it will be very confusing for you. But when you used to it, when you are using continuously the Flexbox features, it will be very useful for you. Now there are little adjustment that I'm going to change here. So you cannot select from here sometimes, and you have to use the container at the moment. Let's choose image and increase the image width and also the container width. Well, and the image should be 100%. And now it looks perfect. So if I delete this one from here, and why this happening? Because the image I'm using percentage. The best way is to use pixel instead using percentage. And now if I duplicate this one, as you can see, it looks perfect. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some border, add some padding. If you take a look at our design, there is a border radius, there is a background. Let's copy the background from here and select the parent container, add a minimum height and make them center. Then go to style, add a background color. Okay, I didn't copy the color from here. Paste it again. Okay. Let's copy the color from here and paste it here. And now as you can see, there is a white background. Let's add the white background here. Go to style and the background type, it should be white color. Change the border radius from here to 20 and have a look. It looks great, right? and change a padding or add some padding here. Let's add 20 pixel padding. And also if you take a look closely here, you can see this container has some padding. Let's remove the padding from this container. And this is how it works. So you can simply delete other one and then duplicate this container. So there are a couple of things that you have to consider when you're using the Flexbox features or container features. However, let me show you another item or another great features that I used most of the time from here, and I really enjoy the Flexbox item from Elementor. Let's select the container from here, and in the previous version what we did, if we want to add a space between, we have added minus margin, plus margin, we have added margin left, margin right, and that's very time consuming and it almost create a huge pain. Now if I just drag this one, how easy it is. As you can see, it's increased the margin or spacing between the item. And there are lots of other features that you can use from the Elementor Flexbox item. Okay, so if I want to make this one, then it will take a lot of time and increase the video duration. Let's choose another one. Okay, let's try this one very quickly. I hope you understand. If I go a little bit quicker, so I just duplicate this one, change the background color to white color. Let's change it and delete other elements from here. Simply I am going to delete this item and would like to keep the container, which is the heading, center, and okay. Now if I go to container, take another container and take a look at our design. So inside the container, I'd like to, first take a look at this one. So I'm going to complete this one, right? So when I complete this one, it will be easier for all of you to duplicate just simply. So there is require one container, then for this one another container. And please note that Elementor Flex item, I have tried a couple of times to use the positioning, but it doesn't work. The position is not working, which is custom position is not working. Let's try again today and if they resolve this or not. So you can simply select the image from here, I think this one, and export the image. So inside container, I have added another container and then add another one. So this is our second container where I'll be adding this one, then the other information. Take image, insert media. So by default, as you can see, the image comes with some space at the bottom area, and in that case, as you can see, there is some space at the bottom. In that case, we are not going to use this image as of now, so we are going to use this one for test purpose, or I can simply export this one also. Let's try this only Google icon here. So yes, as you can see, there is no other white spacing here. So now I have added inside the container. So if you take a look at here, there is a parent container inside this container, and there is a third container here. This container is for image. Let's add another container. which is for title. Well, and change the font size to 20 pixel, this one, and this one has 25 pixel. Change color, 25 pixel. Then change this one to 20. Well, and add, so you can add icon or list item here. So there is no options to add a custom icon. So there is a $sign and location. What we can do, we can simply add from here. I'm not going to use upload feature from here. We can use this one, $sign, and here is location icon. Let's change the color to this one. Go to style, icon, change color. Okay, every single time it happens. Copy the color. Well, let's change it. Let's duplicate this one and change the view from here. And as you can see, it looks like this, and I will change it later on. But first, let's style the button here first. Select the color and add padding. Text is apply now. And then go to style again, border radius 10 pixel. Add some padding, top 15 or 17, bottom 17, left 25 or 27, right 27, and change the typography. Transform, capitalize. Now go to advanced and change the width to inline auto. So the inline auto is not going to work. I think it's not working here. This is very strange. There are lots of limitation here. So basically, when you're using a flex item, the inline auto is not working. I already said you a couple of times, it's still on development period, but it's a good practice, and there's alternative that you can play around with. Now I'm going to add another flex item here, or another container, and inside the container I'd like to add another container. Let's drop it here and duplicate and delete this one. Select the container, make it 2 column, and then reduce the gap. After that, select the container again, remove the padding from here, and still it looks like this. So what we can do, we can reduce, decrease the screen size and select the container again, and the gap is 0 here. So it should, it's not working. Why it's not working? Well, It's working, but our button is not working as expected, so I should add center. And now the button is displaying at the center, but still I'm not satisfied with the result here. So we can add right, left. If I select here again, right, it looks like this. Okay, let's add border here. Zoom in a little bit so that you can view it perfectly. Add some border, solid, with 1 pixel, and the border radius is 30 pixel here. And let's take a look. There is a box shadow. Select box shadow from here, and the vertical, let's make it transparent a little bit, and the color picker is also not working here, so it looks like this. Let's reduce the border and take the color from here, then paste color inside the box shadow area. And border radius at 0. Now it looks much better. Add some padding and we are ready to go. Okay, add 30 pixel padding. Now it looks like this, and if you take a look at the Google icon, it has some border box shadow and some border radius as well. Let's try. It will not going to work because it does not respect the width of the container area, and for this reason, if I add the width and add background, it will not going to work. So there is some reason we are still not working or using this on production side, and I already said that at the introduction, do not use this one on production side. There is lots of limitation, and this is how it works, exactly how you can use them. So using the using our other design, that you can start practicing and you can judge your quality to understand how much you are flexible with the Flexbox layout, and hopefully you'll be able to make some of them from here. And if you add some custom code, if you add some custom changes, then you'll be able to make it exactly 100% similar, looks like Flexbox. So that's all for today. I'll share all the documentation. Basically, it's not a documentation. I'll share with Figma file to you so that you can download and start practicing yourself. And don't forget to share your feedback or share your work on our Facebook page. on our Facebook group. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye.